Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dr. Gaze 101, simulcasted on both Twitch and, not Twitch, BitChute and YouTube at the same time. Welcome to my channels and videos that you can see here on the internet. Welcome again. And yeah, the title stated, this is the 1990s was the last ever form of controlled reality by the New World Order, by the Illuminati, by whoever you think it is, controlling us. Now, in order to yourself, Charles, why you put yourself out there about talk about the Illuminati doesn't have no power anymore, or don't you see yourself as a target and shit like that? Like, yeah, I've been at it for 10 years, maybe longer than that. I had a YouTube account. My first YouTube account, and on my birthday of 2006, August 30th, 2006. I was like 19 years old when I just turned. I was like, hey, why don't I give myself a birthday gift by opening up a new YouTube channel? And, you know, during the 2000s, it was like a transition of, like, you know, entertainment mixed in with reality, literally mixed in with reality at the same time. And everyone's going onto the internet. You know, I heard the saying goes, the internet was cool before you got on. And the internet, you know, will always expand like the universe. That's the theory goes with how the multi-universe is, or the universe as a whole that we live in now. So, in perspective, why am I thinking that 1990s was the last decade of reality? Well, think about it. The internet was just, or the World Wide Web was just formed in 1990. So, within 5 years, by 1995, the top tiers of society, the high class people, actually had access for that kind of money to buy a very good computer. At its time, these computers were expensive as fuck. I don't know the exact. I think it's Apple II. Those Apple II computers. That's the 1980s though. But computers from the 1990s, like Windows or IBM, those computers or programs, they just started, in the mid 90s with the Windows 95 and Macintosh. I'm not sure of the exact Macintosh program, or I think it's 5.0 or 3.0 or some shit like that. And everything was going well, right? People on the internet go on Amazon.com, buy books at first. Amazon's meant for books. Expanded its business to other things. Now it has every single item you can find on the World Wide Web without going to other websites for it. You'll have to go to Jet.com. You'll have to go to Bleach.com for the DVDs. You'll have to go to Funimation all the time to watch and download and own DVDs and Blu-rays. So yeah, for a discount of free shipping on Amazon for 2-day shipping with 60, 70, even 90 bucks a year at the time of this recording, that is. So yeah, today is June 13th, 2020, by the way. And back in the 1990s, from 1990 to 2000, reality was, we were going through the post-Reaganomics. We were going through what Reagan did with the Iran-Contra affair, as well as with the Crack Epidemic, sponsored, supported, and run by the CIA. Now, if you think I'm just lying, bullshitting, and putting truth out there, I might destroy society or destroy the schematics of the internet or the websites here that shut me down or shut themselves down. Well, this is all public knowledge on the FBI records, CIA records, and if they're redacted at this moment, then too late, right? You can't find them anymore. Or if you do find these unclassified, declassified files, you'll see that they redacted it over time. So, now you cannot find the truth. Only people by word of mouth. You hear what they said about the matter at hand with the crack epidemic of the 1980s to the 90s. Crime was everywhere in New York City, especially in my neighborhood. We had a child, 8 years old, being beaten to death by other children. They hated him so much that I don't know what's the beef or how it led up to that point, but right down there in my apartment complex, I can see the same tree there for 20 years. Some kid by the tree got killed, beaten crap out of, and died afterwards. Right afterwards, off that matter. Then there's also shit over by my corner store that I go to every so often to buy soda, beer, whatever the supermarket doesn't have or is closed at the time, especially at nighttime. We still have people, and after midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, to have people buy stuff outside the store. So that way we'll go into the store and rob people and stuff like that. It's still going on now right now. But it's not as much of it as once was back with the robberies, with 25 years ago, especially 25 years ago. And you're going to go to the the corner stores, the bodegas, the Dominican stores, Korean stores. You can buy all sorts of shit from these weird grenade type of plastic smelly things where you push on it and it expands bigger and bigger and blows up like an actual like a firecracker. It smells everywhere like throughout. I would say like a 10-yard radius in a sense, you know, something of that sort. But PU, it smells. They got the cigarette candies trying to encourage kids to smoke. You got the cherry bombs you can buy, firecrackers to buy, pop pops. Remember pop pops? Yeah. Oh, those are good. One time I had grabbed a bag of pop pops and hit it next to a flagpole at my local school not too far from me. I was like 9, 10 years old. I was like, that pole was ringing like a bell. That's how much pop pops I had. It was that bad. I was like, I wasted all that just to make a joke of it on my own self. So no one was around to see it. I was only one there for now. It was right. It was sometime after summer camp was over, something like that. And that was during the time of the summer camp where I was just getting made fun of, being lied to, being joked around by, being mocked, being ridiculed by my fellow peers. Even adults do the same thing to me too. They despise me or they don't like me because of my attitude or way I act and think and look. I was a fat kid. What do you expect? The fat kid always gets the last shit, the last laugh, or the last, what is that called? Fucking, the last whatever, right? Last of everything. And, but I still made it out of there and moved to another town, to Long Island for a few years. That changed it to a predominantly mixed race town. They used to be all white, and they hate blacks coming into the door. I mean, into the town I lived in. But it's 1990s. It was something. It felt real. I was scared most of the time. I get angry when people make fun of me, mock me, yes, and I play on video games, yes, and I don't know if there's reality or fiction at the time. But as I developed because video games was offline. We 30-year-olds and above, if it's really 30 and above right now, so this recording, we didn't have online gameplay, and if we did, it's like through like the World of Warcraft or the Doom 64 or some shit like on the computer PC stuff. We didn't have that. That's mostly for the rich kids who have a good internet, good consistency of the internet, and a good computer and a game that's compatible with that. So it was the rich and the poor was a big difference between each other, night and day, pretty much. Especially where you live. If you live in Upper East Side Manhattan, you get the best part of the best food, services, you name it. Go to where I live here in Queens, Southeast Queens, the worst of the worst. And go to Brownsville, it's much worse than the worst at its time. Now, from what I hear as of 2016, some classmate of mine, I was in a critical thinking class at one of my old colleges, the RWBY, it's in Manhattan. The location is Queens in Manhattan. I went to the Manhattan location. She told me that the Brownsville wasn't as what you think it is anymore. So if she's lying, I'm sorry, guys. It's hot out there. What she told me is that there wasn't that much crime. So she actually walked out there at 3 o'clock in the morning with no problems. I'm like, no fucking way. Oh, sure, I can take the train or two, bus or two to get there, but you don't want to take a chance because you don't know who's really there that doesn't like certain people in a certain area, especially in the internet. I think I made so many enemies on the internet for what I posted on for the last how many months, years, even going into decades. And I'm not trying to say I'm too afraid or I'm afraid to begin with. It's just that I don't want all this mantra and bullshit going on with fighting and stuff like that. I did my best to avoid it. I'm doing my best to continue to avoid fighting it with others. No matter how much I try to express myself on the internet, there's always someone out there that doesn't like my opinion and they want to become my enemy. And I did the same way with the politicians out there because they fucked up the economy. That's a reasonable thing to hate about them. Oh, sure, they say that, it's not our fault, it's your fault for voting the wrong people in. Like, really? Come on now. We didn't know about Rudy Giuliani's affairs and Cuomo with his family's history and stuff like that. Andrew Cuomo, the governor of New York, as of this moment, of this recording, he had his father or grandfather, I think his father more like it, was a governor of New York for a while. In fact, part of New York at one point. And you know, I don't know the exact details of the corruption because it's so subtle, and I haven't gotten involved with it myself to look into the matter. But from what I hear, you know, it's all corruption for years and decades in New York State and New York City. Always has been. But with the internet, it exposed a lot of shit. After when Obama became president, 2009, everyone started to expose everyone, or not everyone, but the politicians specifically. So, what did I do? I took part in that movement. I took part in that truther movement, the Patriot movement. Indirectly, directly, doesn't matter. I try to donate to some organizations like lately as now Turning Point and Campaign for Liberty. I've been doing for Campaign for Liberty for how many years on and off? For at least I spent $250 contributing to that organization alone on Ron Paul's Campaign for Liberty. If they were there for justice and truth, then they should have enough money to put that past that Federal Reserve Act of 2009? The Federal Reserve Act 2000 that audit the Fed. We've been saying that for decades. Thanks to G. Edward Griffin, and now we try to do that, and it went through the Congress properly. So something has to give within the next few years after that, and it has. Now we're starting to see the chaos, the riots. People don't have no jobs. There was employment that people were really doing something for their lives. I was gaining some momentum in my life too. Go over to college, online, university. You know, attend a class. I still do to this day. But now it's like where the job's at when I get out of the college, or when I get out of the university online. Even if I pass all my grades with 90 and above, every semester, every module, doesn't matter. It's people will find out, and regardless, I just like see that oh, sorry, we have no jobs for you right now. But 10 years ago, 5 years ago, a year ago, these same employers saying that we need you to have a degree and 5 years experience. Okay. So I get the degree first and leave it at that and see what happens after that. Now I don't know what's going to happen over the next 3 years, but let's find out. But that's my situation at hand. But getting back on hand, the 1990s, with the last decade of reality or controlled reality by these Illuminati, the George Soros, the Warren Buffetts, those people who had direct controlled the psyche over people for the mainstream media of MSNBC, CBS, ABC, Fox News recently from 1996 and to 2007 to 8 with Obama being president and stuff, you know, running for president after that is. You know, Obama put up a lot of shit to people, both black and white and rich and poor. Now you be saying to myself, why? Why am I blaming everything on this president, or supposedly speaking, right? I always mention his name in most of my videos for how many years. Think about it. First black president, first half-breed president, black and white, half black, half white. Harvard graduate. What's that other college or university? It's in Manhattan. I think it's called something, Columbia University. He was a graduate of Columbia University. Showed no records of his schoolwork. But he has his birth certificate, though. You can see that online easily in newspapers, but not the school records. But, you know, that's when I started digging and people telling me more about the information online. Why not do my own thing and just put it out there, right? Wrong. Bad mistake. People think now I'm some sort of CIA agent, I'm a pedophile, I'm this, I'm that, because I knew all this stuff. I just fucking read. That's what I've been doing since I was a kid, reading. That's why I still have the reality that you see here to me right now. You don't see me going out there rioting and protesting. Yes, one day I might join the cause and protesting and rioting, right? But right this second, I don't have to do that. Mine is with the pen is mightier than the sword routine, meaning that with this pen and this phone and this paper, I can do whatever I can do. Oh, fuck. I can do whatever I do for myself to get by in life. I can advocate for change through the court system, through the policy inquiry departments of wherever agencies or companies. If I see that they're discriminating against me for some strange reason, I report the matter, which is kind of strange that I never do that. The only time I do that is if it was my size and weight. That's about it. Because I'm 6'7" people. I'm a very big and tall person, and I weigh over a certain amount of weight. So I'm like your biggest of the big Boogie 2988 if he's watching this. So this is all knowledge that gained over the years. There's no secret. No secret at all. Now, if there are some secrets out there of Obama, thanks to those people who are informants, who are CIA agents, trying to put it out there in these newspapers like the postmail.com, and it's owned by this European lady, if I don't recall correctly. And I donated that too long ago to them, and I said, I don't want y'all to say that if they're watching this right now, the postmail.com, thank you for posting that information about Obama over the years. It helped me out to think about our government and what they could potentially do to us as people. With constant resistance, constant restraint, constant questioning, they can't do only but so much to us as people on a daily basis, let alone on a regular basis. They can't just put us in jails and FEMA camps. If they really are trying to do that for all Americans, put everyone in FEMA camps, it's gonna, you gotta make sure they're very dumb, the Americans. Really dumb. And, you know, people know what's going on, or at least most people know what's going on. The only people that don't know what's going on are the ones who are rich, they're with their families, they don't know shit about from fuck, they don't know nothing about their history, and if they know about the history, it's all but mantra, and they don't look into the matter. And they're like, oh, shut up, you little peasant. I'm rich. My family makes me do whatever I want to do. Yeah, keep dreaming, Mr. Rich Guy, Miss Rich Guy, or son of, or daughter of Mr. Miss Rich people. So, hey, I might be rich one day too, right? Never know, right? So, this is ridiculous, I have to say, because there's no way that people don't know what's going on. I mean, I did my best to tell what's going on with me, tell what I did, what I want to do, privately, publicly, doesn't matter. You know, but there's only so much you can do as a person, as one individual. You know, you can't just run after the White House and drag Trump out. Well, I don't even have a quarrel with Trump. I respect the man. What you should have done was with Obama and Bush and Clinton. Now, those guys were perpetrating a lot of bullshit. Literally. They're the ones who just keep orchestrating the New World Order, passed that NAFTA bill by Clinton, the PATRIOT Act by Bush, and Obama with the healthcare law of what's called the Obamacare Act, or the Healthcare Act, or the CARE Act of 2010. I'll try to put it in the description box down below of the PATRIOT Act and the CARE Act of 2010. Should have finished draft if I can find it. I have so many books, digital and also physical, that I accumulate over the years, and there's only so much I can do as one person to read it all. I mean, I will still read, I will still study, I will still research, and still advocate whenever I can, donate whenever I can, etc., etc. But you know, the reality to most of these people who are younger than me, under 30, they don't know what politics are, or how political structures form, how there's three branches of government: the political, social, judicial, the executive, the judicial, and the legislative. Excuse me. Obviously, the executive is presidency, judicial, Supreme Court, and the third is the Congress, both Senate and the House, the high house and the low house, if you want to call it like that. So, and I haven't learned that in a while. I still memorize that. These kids never sorted out that in school. You're telling me as a 25-year-old, 21-year-old, 18-year-old, when you just graduated from high school, they didn't teach you this stuff? But they'll teach you about Vietnam War, though. That's fucked up. I was never taught Vietnam War while I was in school. That was the most recent event in our history. But we focused on World War II, World War I, the Civil Rights Movement, slavery, every goddamn year for how many years during the 1990s into the 2000s. Then also Facebook showed up in 2004. That's the beginning of reality and fiction blend in together severely. Then you got Twitter a year or two later. Then YouTube within that time period. What else? MySpace was going downhill, so no more MySpace. But what can I say? What can I say, right? It amazes me that over the years that we have to see that reality's been so blended in with entertainment. Now, I take part in that matter of mixing entertainment with education. That's my fault. On my part, on my end, yes. But that's mainly for people who don't understand where I come from basic explanation. Something I had to put into the audiovisual account, like a meme, perhaps a skit in a montage in a skit, some shit like that, right? And I've been doing that for how many months and years? Especially for the last 5 years. Try to put politics with games, movies with games, video games with politics, you name it. Such and such, back and forth. Mix the two and make the shit show happen. So the shit show is officially started. Thanks to the exposure of all these politicians, leading to the exposure of people like myself who don't know a damn thing about what's going on as far as like the exposures of the matter. Like, people say I'm a pedophile and they joke about it. Like, I don't think you can joke about being a pedophile, but then again, I joke about other things that can be can be cruel as well without my knowledge. But not like that. I don't remember talking about accusing people of raping a joking matter. Kids as well don't. The kids out there, that 12-year-old kid who's racist as fuck, who calls me nigga every day, I know who you are. You lucky I can't say your name because you're a little kid. But kids out there like you better watch yourself when you keep saying the N-word to every black person on the internet. Because you don't know who's watching, who knows your IP address, who knows your address, who knows anything about you. Especially if you put your name out there on purpose. We all are public figures pretty much to some extent. If you put yourself out there, your voice, your face, your mannerisms, your posters. But people don't think this is all staged, right? These posters right here. Like, come on, this is what RWBY I like. There's Aries and Angry Joe right here. I like these entities, these brands, these series of things. RWBY especially talked about light out truth and government and stuff like that in the first 3 volumes. So, but I guess no one doesn't pick up from that matter. These songs, especially the songs they made for Lamar Hall, Casey Williams, the Williams, if you want to call like them. They'll tell like, born with no life, into subjugation, treated like a worthless animal, stripped of our rights, just a lesser being, crushed by cruel, ruthless human rule. When it started, just to live our lives down with darkness. Oh no, we will fight. We will fight. That's the Volume 1 songs on their audio track. I'll try to list it down on iTunes as well. Alright, guys. That's what you see a piece of me right there. Have a nice day, guys. Peace, thumbs up, subscribe, and share. Donate if you can. Everything's down below. Have a nice day, guys. Bye. And best of luck to you in this blend from now on, 2020 and beyond, the blending of reality and fiction.